Is hitting a form of education, or does violence just generate fear and resentment? When we give up anger, do we become complacent, or is there a difference between anger and indignation? If you have ever thought about any of these questions, perhaps this short story will help you reflect. Deep in Japan, in a small village, lived a young man named Musashi. Known for his indomitable spirit and promising swordsmanship, Musashi was already a legend in the making. However, his rebellious nature often brought him into conflict with local authority figures. One morning, training alone, he heard screams from the village. A nobleman was mistreating villagers. Outraged, Musashi decided to intervene. He confronted the nobleman, demanding that he stop his abusive behavior. The nobleman, enraged at being challenged, ordered his guards to attack Musashi. After a brief fight, Musashi was outnumbered and captured. As news of Musashi's capture spread throughout the region, an old monk named Takuan, known for his wisdom and compassion, heard of the incident. He decided to intervene and went to the village. Arriving at the village, Takuan immediately went to meet the feudal lord. With his calm presence and thoughtful words, he asked the lord to release Musashi. The feudal lord said it was important that Musashi learn a lesson once and for all.
My guards had already tied him to a tree, and they will make sure he'll never forget what he had done, said the feudal lord.
Takuan looked at him and calmly explained.
There is no point in trying to make Musashi never forget, because his problem is not lack of memory. He has a warrior spirit that, if guided correctly, could bring honor and protection to the village. Humiliation and punishment would not tame the young man, but guidance and example could.
The feudal lord was impressed by the monk's eloquence and consented. Takuan asked the feudal lord to take him to Musashi and leave him alone with him. Takuan went to the tree where Musashi was tied. Seeing the monk approaching, Musashi asked him to release him. The monk then looked deeply into Musashi's eyes and said,
Understand who your enemy is, transform your anger into indignation, and you will come out of there by yourself.
My enemy?
Musashi said as he struggled.
Is the feudal lord who has imprisoned me here? If that coward were to face me alone, he would not stand a chance.
And the more he struggled, the tighter he felt the ropes tighten around him.
Your enemy is not the feudal lord,
the monk said calmly.
He is merely trying to maintain order in his domain. Try again.
My enemy, then, is the noble who was provoking my friends.
And again he struggled, and the rope tightened even more around him.
No,
the monk said calmly.
He was doing something wrong, but who reacted without thinking and impulsively? Do you think you really solved the problem, or did you just follow your anger and fed your ego?
At that moment, Musashi understood what the monk was trying to explain to him. He could not control the rest of the world, but he could always control himself.
I am my own enemy,
Musashi said calmly. Then, as he took a deep breath and calmed himself, he realized that the ropes were loosening.
Let go of your anger, but keep the indignation,
said the monk.
Indignation is righteous and can guide you to fight for what is right, but anger will only destroy you from within.
Letting go of the anger that clouded his senses, Musashi could see that because he had been hastily tied upside down, the knots were loose. By calming down, he could let himself slide free. There was a loud crash as Musashi fell free to the ground, hurting his back.
Change hurts,
said the monk.
Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Remember that no one can prevent the success of someone who has overcome himself.
Musashi, absorbing Takuan's words, felt a new clarity. He promised the monk that he would work to control his anger and channel his indignation in constructive ways. Musashi became one of the greatest samurai Japan had ever seen, as well as an accomplished painter and poet. This story contains many different lessons about the importance of controlling your emotions, the importance of example and guidance, and the victory of love and understanding over hate. What lessons did you take away from this tale?